Hi guys, I am Susan from Orange Light Energy. I am, I guess, really checking in today. I haven't really made videos in a while. The energies are wild. I mean, we knew they would be. A month, a number 9 month and a number 9 year, 2 eclipses back to back. It's been intense and it's been a lot. I mean, it still is a lot. In times like that, sometimes you just have to step back and focus on what you need. So I wanted to just see how everybody else is doing, how you are feeling with it. In the September energy video that I did, they had talked about this being a transitional month. And to be transitional can mean a lot of different things. There's people who those transitions have been physical. Those who have lost loved ones, those who have lost something within their life. Sending love to all of those people, anybody that's struggling with that right now. It can be a change of job, a change in situation, a change in a relationship in your life. We're all excited for these new things that we know are coming, the things we can feel coming, but to get to the new, you have to let go of the old and to move past. What is familiar is hard. There's a lot of struggle right now with what we have always known, what we have always accepted, what we have just assumed was the way things were. And those things are falling away, and that can really impact how safe you feel, how comfortable you feel, how secure. But it can also be a catalyst. It can help you to see parts of yourself that have been blocked by what has kind of been held to as what was needed, what was expected. So I wanted to pull a few cards and just see where are we at? What is the guidance for right now? So I pulled these cards. Actually, did I bring the box over? I hope I did. I don't know where I put it. I guess I did not bring it with me, but it's okay. I have the cards. I thought I was being organized, so it frustrates me that I missed some of the things that I meant to bring over, but I can post a photograph of that. I swear I brought it with me. Oh well, I'm gonna let it go. It's kind of funny actually, because doing this kind of work, you can see patterns, you can see how energies change and how they move and what they are supporting in a particular time. I work a lot with the emotional side of healing, the emotional wounds and traumas that people hold, whether it be this lifetime or past lifetimes. And for the past, I would say for probably July, August, and the first part of September, there was a lot of wounding coming up around judgment, around abandonment, rejection, things like that. And there's been a shift more now towards issues around control. Trying to control things, not letting go of control, adding weight to yourself because you are trying to be in control. So the fact that I do not feel in control of the things that I'm still looking for feels like a quick poke at that wound. If you have a lot of traumas in this lifetime or past lifetimes where you have felt things were out of your control, things happened that you feel like you could have stopped them, you could have done differently if you'd had the information, that can then bring you to a place where control makes you feel safe. To manage all aspects of your life, to build routines and structures for yourself, to be able to feel as if you have control, that things are not outside of your control. And so that's coming up a lot because it can add weight to us. If you're adding all of these things to your mind, all of these weights to yourself, things that you feel like you need to control, you need to do a certain way, you need to do it at a certain time, you need to follow a certain structure when you're doing it, you're creating extra weight for yourself. You're creating a heaviness that you don't need to have, as a way to try and feel safe. And so a lot of the energies that are coming up are trying to help us to deal with the root causes of that, to be able to, let go of those things and still feel safe, still recognize that we have control where we need it. So The first card that came up is called Blessed Resilience, and it's number 23. Number 23 makes me smile because my son's birthday was the 23rd. But also my daughter's been talking a lot recently about seeing the number 23 everywhere. So I had looked up the number 23. And 23 tends to show up at significant periods of time, significant events that come up. I don't remember exactly what it was around that, but blessed resilience, you can weather the storm. So whatever's going on, whatever you're going through, it's temporary. You know, you're going to move through it and you will come out of it stronger. You will come out of this changed, somebody new, something beyond what you have been. But you've got to make it through this part first. And to go through storms, to go through the challenges and the struggles in life is hard. But often these are the times of the greatest learning, the times when we find the most within ourselves, the times when we rise to the challenge, the times when we are forced to push beyond what we are comfortable with and to find what it is that we didn't know was there. So the second card, Encirclement. Love will flourish. No, we're living in a world that's very divided, and this looks about coming back together. You see, there's diversity in this image. There is this feeling of, well, it's love. And our world right now, and all of the division that is there, and all of the lower emotions that are present, this feels like a reassurance. You know, again, it's weathering the storm. We're going through something, but love will flourish. Do not doubt that this is where we end up. How you get there is what breaks us free. They're making me want to cry. This is important. Having hope, knowing that you're going to get where you need to be. You have to push on through. You have to move through the dark times to get here, but it is coming. We're going to get back to this. What number was this one? Number 12. Oh, number 12's been coming up a lot too. This came up a lot yesterday. Jennifer and I, my business partner Jennifer, we had a 3-hour phone call talking through some work that we are doing currently with our Patreon group. Something that's really blurring the lines between the human experience and what is beyond that. It's been it's fascinating. You know, like I said, this month feels to me like it's been a pendulum, like the swinging backwards and forwards of these days of just like, wow. Like my brain doesn't know what to do with it all. And then the next day back into some heavy experience. And that feels like it's been this month of going between, you know, that light and that hope and that excitement for what there is, and then back into the things that we have to push through to get there. No, but the stuff that's exciting is the new things. It's the things that you can see and you can learn, the things that you can uncover as you ask questions, as you push yourself further, as you have broken past these wounds, these old places, these old structures. What can you see? When you let go of control, when you let go of preconceived ideas, perceptions that you had, and you just come to things from a place of being open. What can you see? What can you learn? How are your understandings of things expanded and changed? And those are the moments that will change you too, not just the struggles, but the moments of revelation, the moments of illumination, the moments when suddenly you can see more than you have ever seen. And it just, in those heavier moments, is bringing support. You know, there's this part of the journey, but there's also this part. And this part is just beyond what you can imagine. But you got to get through some of the other things to get there. You got to be able to find the balance. So the next card, number 35, Unguarded. Trust the unexpected. which kind of feeds into what I was just saying. You know, we have all of these thoughts and these ideas in our societies of what things look like, what they're supposed to be, who we are supposed to be, how we are supposed to behave, what each situation is supposed to look like, what we're supposed to say, what we're supposed to do. And none of it is real. You know, if something comes along that we didn't expect, again, let go of control. Let yourself try something new. Come to this open. They've talked a lot about coming to things with an open heart and with an open mind. And when you do that, what do you find? You know, this adventure Jennifer and I are going on, it's a leap of faith. It's a willingness to explore, to trust the synchronicities, to be led down a path, and it's a magical experience. And that requires you to trust the unexpected, to be able to recognize and to let yourself go with what you didn't see coming, what is outside of what you may have expected for yourself. That even as you come to what is unexpected, it may take you further into what is unexpected. It may open doors for you and show you things that you didn't even know were possible. But you've got to be willing to take the chance to get there. Okay, the next card, number 34, Under Siege. It's a little bit how it feels right now. But, no, this is where are we right now? This is what you may be feeling like in your energy in the world. That is just, there's a lot that feels right now like oppression, like restriction, rules and opinions and thoughts and conflict and all of these things that would hold you down. But they're saying uproot your habits, break the roots, break yourself free. Don't feel that you are trapped by these things. You're only trapped by what you allow to trap you. You have free will, and to choose how these things impact you is what can change your life right now. No, if you have a situation that's overwhelming you with anxiety, what can you do? Are you focusing on what you cannot change, or are you looking to take action? What are you doing when you're feeling that anxiety? Are you allowing it to overwhelm you, or are you stopping yourself? Are you catching yourself and you're choosing something else? Are you choosing to look away from your phone, from your computer, from whatever situation you are in? Are you giving yourself an opportunity to change your energy, to put on music, to play some music, to go outside, to take your dog for a walk? Do whatever it is to take you out of this, because to stay in this energy is a choice. And sometimes it might not feel like it's a choice. But if you can hold in your mind that it is, if you have that in there, you can catch yourself and you can choose to put yourself in a different position. You can choose to try something different instead of, essentially falling down that hole, letting yourself fall. Pull yourself back up and say, that's not what I want. And I know that that's not possible for everybody. You have different situations, different circumstances. But wherever you are, there's a way for you to do this in some way, to break yourself free. This is uproot your habits. So even if you can't deal with this in every situation, what situations in your life can you change? What are the areas that you can address? Because every little change that you make, every small choice, every intention that you set will change your path forward. You are not helpless. No, you don't have to stay in this place. Find your communities, find the places that can support you, find help for yourself. Speak up, express yourself, to tell others where you are struggling. Share the weight of these things and let people help you. People may surprise you. There is this feeling in this closed off time that to speak up is dangerous, is going to bring conflict, but it's not always like that. And you may be able to find that this opens doors for you that you didn't know were there. Okay, number 18, Hand of Fire. So, this is stoke your inner flame. So this a little bit too, changing your energy, but it's one thing to be in a lower energy, but how do you create that higher energy? How do you find that place that makes you happy? How are you feeding your soul? How are you growing yourself? What abilities do you have that you feel drawn to expand on? And that can be, it can be, are you working on your healing? But what are you creating? What are you building? Do you paint? Do you draw? Do you play a musical instrument? Do you like to work with animals? Do you like to, I don't know, it could be absolutely anything. Work on cars, any of these things. What is it that you enjoy, that you feel drawn to, that brings your mind to a different place? Nourish those fires within yourself. Bring yourself these opportunities to grow and to find joy. Because that's, again, this balance. If you're feeling restricted like this, look at this fire. This is the wood, this is the fire. To get yourself out of this, you have to have balance. If all you see is the heaviness and the darkness, that's a very different energy than when all of a sudden you bring in joy. I've been talking this month, the pendulum, backwards and forwards. You can have the struggle, but so too you can have the exhilaration, the joy, the opening up. This is not just about letting go, it's about birth. It's about the new. You're in the process of this now, the process of birthing, and you choose the path forward. You choose how this is for you. So the next card, the Stang. Ride between the realms. Right now we are living a human experience. You're in a human body and you're dealing with human things, whether that be health, conflict, families, relationships, financial things, and it can be absolutely anything. You're doing that, but you're balancing it with the understanding that you are supported, that there is something greater out there, that you are not just this human form. You are a soul that is in that body, and this soul has existed before and will exist after. This is a bigger picture. Who you are, what you are working on, the experiences you are having, the things that are opening up for you. It's about your connection between the two. You are all of these things. You are part of the collective. You are your own soul. You are a part of all of these different elements. Every relationship that you have, every encounter that you have, every meditation, every experience you have, a synchronicity, all of this, it's all who you are. And to relish that, to, ride between the realms, to recognize that you are both, to embrace both. Again, balance, finding that space. She's on this post. She's not falling. She's in between. And you can see the hair is going this way and it's this way. She's a part of both. She is allowing herself to be both. You don't have to put one thing down to be the other. You can have a job that's very much in the 3D world, and then you're doing this work as well. You are embracing both things. You are nourishing your soul with both paths. This doesn't have to be something that you choose one thing or another. It's the whole. It's who you are. It's the path that you were on and who you are and who you are becoming. Finding that balance. She's there, she's holding on, she's tight, she's determined. You got this, you can do this. Okay, the last card that I have, the Green Man. It's time to grow. These are the times, I just talked about birth. These are times when we are opening up, we are expanding. The energies have changed. I've been talking about this, but I know other people are talking about it too. Anybody within the spiritual world of these times recognizes, the astrologers, the healers, the people doing tarot, all of them. People know that these are changing times, that where we are now and where we will be 12 months from now is different. We're not going to recognize this. The things we're going through now, we're going to look back and recognize how they changed us, how they made us different. Look back the last 12 months. How much has changed in this last year? We're not static. We're not still. Even if there's minutes when you feel really like nothing is happening, look back on where you were a year ago and recognize how you are changed, how you are different, how you have, weathered the storms, how you have moved through these situations. Look at them and learn from them. What have you learned? What would you do differently? How would you move yourself forward from this? What are the next steps that you want to take? Who do you want to be? This is where we are. It is fertile ground to define our own futures, to define where we are going. So even in the times when it feels dark, see it as part of the process, part of the transition, and recognize that you are moving through that you're moving towards this place that is going to be different. You are going to be different. Okay, the last little piece I think that I want to talk about, this came up in our Patreon meeting, and I talked about it briefly, but I want to just bring it up a little bit more to talk about here, because it feels like it's a message that can help all of us to just navigate these energies differently. Because like I said, we're navigating and we're choosing for ourselves. We're defining our paths. And to be able to see what might be holding us back, what might be blocking us, can be, I think, really valuable. So I wanted to share this here in a bigger way and just kind of bring it forward. And if this part triggers you, please just let it go. But I think it's important to bring this up. It's funny because this is the other time this week when I saw the card that said you can weather the storm, is when I said I didn't want to talk about this stuff. So in part, the energies we're in right now are just really strong. There's a lot of energy. And so, as I said, deciding what to do with that is important. Somebody I was listening to earlier this week, I'm trying to remember who it was, had said, energies like this, you either use the energies or be used by it. It's like, do you get just carried along with no control, or do you choose your direction? So it doesn't need to be confrontational, but try to surf the wave. Don't just give in. Don't just say, I can't do this. This is too hard. What do you want to do with it? How do you want to use it? But there's this part of what they had said. Did I even copy the right part? Yeah, I don't think I did. See, this comes back to control again. The part that they had talked about with me, what had got said, is about your algorithms. And algorithms is, kind of the energy around you, the things that mirror back to you. But it was the algorithms are what will, I can't believe did I send myself all of it at least? No. Oh well, doesn't matter. I'm going to say this is the control wound again. When things change unexpectedly, I thought I had got myself all planned. But yeah, the algorithms, the things around you, which can be your social media, it can be AI, it's the people that are in your life, people that are around you, amplifying fears. And I can't remember the phrase that they used around this, which was what I really wanted. It was, it's driving me nuts that I didn't copy this over. Anyway, to let it go and just adapt, right? It was about how that will impact your ability to hope. If you can hold hope, if you think things are getting better, but if your algorithm, the energies that are mirroring back to you are mirroring back your fears, it's harder for you to see beyond them. And they talked about this from a perspective of a lot of things. What do you have going on that you fear? The example I had used was that when we started to talk about the Portal Day Amplifier session, the energies around that were so strong. The intention, and it was a bit of a leap of faith. I didn't know what it was. I've never done that before. I mean, I'm still finding out. But it was a leap of faith to put that together, to talk about it, to bring it forward to people. There's a lot of trust needed for that. And I saw somebody else on social media that I follow kind of say, I don't understand why there's so much fuss about portal days. Why are people treating them as all of this? And to me, I was like, oh my God, should I be doing this? But I knew the energies were strong. There was a reason to it. There was a purpose to it. And I let it go. I mean, obviously it's still in there because I'm talking about it now because it was something that really made me question myself. But it came to that kind of thing. I already had my own anxieties about it. So then what I am seeing, what is showing up for me was amplifying that, was putting it back, mirroring back at me those fears. It wasn't somebody that was like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. It was somebody that was amplifying the doubt. And that's kind of what is holding back a lot for us in these times. The other examples that they've given to us, because division, I mean, I'm sure everybody here knows division is a huge, huge thing in our societies right now. And division comes from a lot of different wounds, a lot of different places. But they were talking about these algorithms. For me, it was something like that. But it's in other places too. It's present in different ways. And I've used this cube before. How it has these different colors on the sides. And, it's division. If we're standing over here, the information you're getting is blue. Somebody else is over here looking at pink. And you're never going to be able to tell them this is blue because to them, this is clearly pink. Yet to you, it's clearly blue. Ideally, we could get to a place where we could be, I'm holding this trying to do it, where you can get to all of these different places where you can see all of the different colors in all of the different places and recognize the bigger perspective. But when we're already holding wounds and fears, our algorithms, the things that are in our energy are amplifying that. The big ones that they were talking about, which are what I think is controversial, and I don't like conflict, which is why I can see they're poking at my wound, was things around in our society. You see a lot, immigration. What do people have with wounding around this? And the wounds can be from this lifetime, from past lifetimes. People may not even be aware they have wounding about this. But then what are you seeing in your algorithms? Are you seeing, I'm in the US, and I know here, depending on where you're watching and getting your information, are you seeing the footage of people arresting kindergarten teachers, trying to deport children? Or are you seeing the rapists, the gang members that are being deported? Again, there's a balance, but which side of this are you seeing? If you're only seeing the innocent people get taken, the attacks and the things that are happening, you're probably feeling a lot of injustice. You're feeling a lot of struggle around this. If you're seeing, these darker energies, the people who have done terrible things being taken out of the country, you probably feel quite justified in it. You don't see this other side because the news and the things that you're seeing are quite polarizing right now, and they're giving you one side of something which is a whole. So you're seeing, you're over here and you're looking at this part, but the person that you live next door to is probably seeing this part. And so you can talk about this, but you're not the same perspective. You're not the same understanding because you have different fears and different understandings. The other example they brought up is from a healthcare perspective, specifically with things like vaccines. Are you hearing about the lives that have been saved because of them? Or are you seeing the person who had the stroke, the person who had the bad reaction, the person who had some detrimental effect from it? I'm not saying either side is right on any of this, but which side are you standing on? What is your personal experience with this? What is the information that is showing up in your energy field? What is being triggered within you? Because again, that's going to trigger wounds that you have from this lifetime, from past lifetimes, wounds you may not even know you get, but they trigger in you. And then the energies around you will amplify that, will mirror back at you what feeds that fear, what feeds that anxiety. Because when we are in a place of fear and anxiety, we are in a lower emotion. We're in a lower energy, a lower vibration. You are less able to access joy, less able to access hope, which is what holds us in this lower space, which pulls us back from being able to find hope, from being able to find the unity that we need to be able to move forward. Again, this ties into the wound around judgment, around control. And how each person moves through these wounds is going to be their own free will, their own choice. But it is being brought up in this way now as guidance, because if we can bring this into your awareness, into your thought field, then there can be those moments when you might be triggered by something, but you can step back. You can go, hang on a second. Do I post that thing? Do I share this thing? Do I amplify this, or do I look deeper? Do I recognize that there is more beyond just what I am seeing? That this situation is not just black and white? That there is all of these other parts of it? That there is balance in all things? And that just because you have wounding around this section, you have triggers and responses. If we all are just being reactive, if we all are just coming from that wounded place, that place where we are looking at, here's my wound, here's the things that are fired up within me, it's feeding the division, it's feeding this situation. When what we need is compassion, is unity, is the willingness to recognize that there are perspectives beyond our own, that our experiences are not the totality of things, that our judgment of things may not be the totality. And this took such a turn. But it also then, I appreciate them giving this information, because I think this feels like actionable items, like things within your life where you can hold yourself to account. You can call yourself back. You can recognize where you have triggers, where you have wounds. You can see where there are things within your life that might be rising to be addressed, things that you would like to deal with, that you would like to understand more. And in these energies, it's not just about that. That is one way that you can help to shift your energy, to shift the collective energy. But there's also an encouragement to be fluid, to be agile. If something shows itself to you that is outside of what you have believed, outside of what you have known, to be agile, to be fluid, to be willing to let your perspectives evolve, to be willing to allow your beliefs, your understandings to evolve and to grow, to not hold to the old ways out of stubbornness, out of pride, out of ego, but instead, and I don't know specifics of any of this, it's just that ability to change, because they can tell you to be fluid in these energies, but we can then, what does that mean? What are you asking us to do? And this is a part of that. They're giving you actionable things within your life that can make a difference. To let go of the judgment and just to be willing to change, to be willing to adapt, to be willing to accept things that are outside of what you may have had before. What was this card here? The Vanguard. Trust the unexpected. Just because it's not what you thought it would be, it doesn't mean it's wrong. It doesn't mean you have to reject it. To reject new truths and new understandings is to be back in this place. To hold yourself in this place, to be stubborn, to refuse to be out of this. The hand of fire. Stoke your flame. Yeah, flames grow, flames expand. So these are coming back again. Letting yourself recognize that all may not be as you've expected it to be. These are times when they've talked about illumination, new doors opening and new understandings, and that doesn't have to be comfortable. But just bend with it, move with it, let yourself flow with these things, because it's time to grow. It's time to break free of these old things and to move yourself forward. Man, you never know where these are going, but they go all over the place. I brought a couple of crystals. If anybody who's enjoying working with crystals, you're looking for something to help with the energies of this month, I have amethyst and rose quartz. Rose quartz is much pinker than it always looks on camera. I don't know why it looks so pale, but the amethyst looks pretty. Both of these, this is about heart healing, emotional healing, self-love, nourishing of the soul. Amethyst too, there's protection, there's soothing, there's calming. You know, the amethyst is a beautiful crystal for anxiety, for stress, for times when you may be struggling a little energetically. This one's a great one, so I'm just going to hold that there for a second. I'm talking about these things, but if you feel like you need extra help, if you need help to move past wounds, help to understand your wounds, to understand better what is happening in your life, we have like the Healing with Metatron session, which is about emotional healing and clearing of emotional trauma. You can do that session as many times as you want. That one's just going to continue to help you to clear through layers of trauma that may be there. You know, I said you're a soul in a human body. How many lifetimes have you lived? How much trauma have you gained? You know, it takes time to work through all of those things, but these are the times. What else is a good one? I think really they're talking about this guidance. So maybe there are, you know, we do the spiritual journey consultations. If you just want to talk about your path, talk about where you are, how you can move forward in a more specific to you kind of a way. Jennifer does an Ask Your Guides session where you can just ask a couple of specific questions and she'll get the answers for you and respond. She also has messages from your guides. There's one from the dragon guides as well. Messages from your dragons, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I'll put the link to our services page because you never know. Whatever you need, you're going to feel it. You know, our webpage, each of the sessions that we have has a crystal grid with it. And those grids carry the energies to kind of help you to recognize what do you feel drawn to, what feels important to you. And it might not be what you expected it to be. Doesn't mean it's not right. So just trust your energy. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing this work at this time. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end if you're still here, because it went much longer than I thought it would. But love to you all. Okay, bye.